Alright, so I'm here with Mo, and it's this beautiful house and a great garage, space for 2 cars, but he has one problem.
And I have a decently sized car that fits, but fits with a margin of error that's really small.
So have you ever damaged it or been close?
Definitely. So damaged it by bumping into the fridge or the racks.
Oh man,
Yeah.
beautiful Tesla, you don't want to damage that. That's an expensive piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's got a sensor on the front, but that sensor, one, it doesn't have a camera on the front. If it did, it would be a little bit better. But it still doesn't tell me how close I am on the backside, which is the important part because the door will close on my backside if I'm too far away from the fridge. So I need to be just close enough so that my front isn't damaged, and just far enough so that my back clears the garage door.
Okay. Guess what? I got 3 potential solutions to solve your problem here.
All right,
Got 3 products we're going to demo today and see which one works the best for Mo.
let's take a look at it.
First we got the Genie tennis ball, we hang it from the ceiling. And we get these HOXWELL parking blocks to park your car up against your wheels, and they basically will tell you when your car is sufficient far into your garage. And then we have the Infinite Shield beam curtain. So we're going to start out by trying the parking blocks, and the key here is to park your car perfectly the first time. It looks like Mo did a great job. He parked it right up against his fridge here. So let's install one of these each on each side of the car.
Cool. So I'm going to install this right under the tire. I'm going to push it against the tire.
Alright, so the parking blocks are installed. Now we're going to give it a try. We're going to back up the car and see how well they work parking the car. If the car can end up in the same position next time around. How did the parking job turn out?
So I ran into it, which is good. I stopped, which I think is the ideal position. I've got enough space on the front, I have enough space on the back. I did hit it far on the right-hand side of it. I think it's long enough and the tire's wide enough that I'm not going to miss it. I do worry that I'll need to adjust this frequently with more parking. And I'll obviously, I'm not so sure about this with young kids running around the garage or even just walking to the fridge and back when there's no car in here. I think it serves as a big tripping hazard.
Alright, so now we have the car out of the garage. Are those sticking to the ground, or are they, do you think they're going to move around?
I think they're going to be moving, especially with the weight of the car and the large tires. I think this is not going to be a permanent fix.
So here's number 2, it's the Genie parking ball. First thing we notice is that it has a ton of string. I'm not sure how tall they think our garage is. Like, you know, it's almost like they want you to get knots on this string before you get it installed. But I guess we can cut it off after we've installed it. After reading the instruction manual, we realized you had to install a total of 3 screws, 2 in the ceiling and 1 on top of the garage door. And we will soon find out why you need 3 screws instead of just 1, which we originally thought. Alright, so now it's time for some teamwork. Mo has installed all the hooks. 2 hooks in the ceiling, 1 hook in the garage door. So now I'm going to help out with adjusting this Genie ball to sit perfectly on the windshield, and then Mo's going to tie the knot up there. So I think we're ready just there. Okay. Alright, yeah, adjust a little bit again to get that perfect position of the ball. So now we know what all this extra string is about. You gotta create this advanced pulley system in the ceiling to be able to keep the ball down here by the windshield when the door is open. But when the door closes, then we think the ball is gonna get pulled up towards the ceiling and get out of the way.
Okay, so now I'm going to use my trusty MyQ app to lower my garage door to about 10 seconds.
So Mo, what do you think about Genie's mathematicians. Do you think they did a good job at getting a ball in the right position?
I think the pulley is much better than just installing a tennis ball, for sure. It makes it a little bit more difficult to install, so it should be handy, but it works.
Alright, so now that we know the product works and it's a pretty clever approach with the pulleys, what do you think about this? Is it going to work for you, Mo?
So I think it works as is in the current setup with the current car, but if I park that car in there, I'll have to readjust the pulley system, do the measurements, move the eye hooks, and I have 3 cars, so we might interchange the cars any given day. So I don't think this is going to work for my garage.
Dude, that could actually be a little bit dangerous if you forgot which car you adjust the ball for, and then you park your car and then close the garage door and the bumper's sticking out.
Yeah,
that sounds a little bit dangerous to me, to be honest.
I wouldn't want to coordinate the cars to be in one or the other, because we'll make that really easy mistake.
Alright, so we tried the parking blocks and the Genie tennis ball. This is the third approach. It's called the Infinity Shield garage door safety sensor. It's a transmitter unit and a receiver unit, and we're going to see how these work for Mo. So these Infinity Shield units, the transmitter and receiver, on the receiver side, and we have this toggle button that turns on the beeper function, and the beeper beeps when your car is blocking the garage door plane.
Okay, so I've got the clips mounted onto the bars, and I'm going to attach the clips onto the vertical track here, and attach the top. There you go. So now that I've got the Infinity Shield installed, I'm going to turn on the beeper function. Immediately it's beeping, so it's telling me that something's in the path of the garage door. And it's strange because when we set up the tennis ball's in the perfect alignment. The car should be ideally positioned inside the car, but I know that the garage door right now is telling, the sensor is telling the garage door that something's in the way, and it really looks close in terms of where the end of the car is. So if I try to lower the garage door, and I'll try to do that here, Infinity Shield, if it's working properly, will not allow the garage door to go down.
So it's too bad that the Genie tennis ball didn't work, because it's such a simple device, and really hopeful that something that simple would work really well for Mo, but apparently it's not working so well.
Yeah, it looks like it's just not sensitive enough to catch. You have to get really, really good and perfect at the alignment. So the Infinity Shield is on. The car is far enough in, not touching the front end, and it's not beeping. The beeper's activated. I can see that the plane of the beams is very, very close to the car, and in fact, the closer I get to it, I can probably trigger it. You can tell how close the trigger is. The door. So that's really neat, because I can get within inches and fully having room on the front end of the garage. One other use for this is when my trunk is open, it tells me that my trunk should not allow the garage door to come down. That will damage this, and I'll be really disappointed with this system. So this is obviously another benefit.
Alright, So what do you think, Mo? What do you think about the Infinity Shield?
So Infinity Shield by far is going to be the best solution for as a parking guide. It allows me to park either a vehicle in either spot and still trust that the garage door won't come down if the back end of the car is too far out into the garage door. The trunk is definitely a great feature as well. The beeper feature allows me to know how far I need to go in rather than relying on the ball or just my visual sight of how close I need to reach the front.
So we reviewed the Genie tennis ball, the parking block, and Infinity Shield, and Infinity Shield is the clear winner.